Let's say $10,000 lands in your account today. Maybe it's a bonus, a tax refund, an inheritance, or even just money you've managed to save up over the last year. The big question now is, what would you actually do with it? Because here's the thing, in 2025, there are more options than ever. You've got high yield savings accounts paying over 5%, record household debt levels, a stock market still digesting years of rate hikes, and AI tools that can help you start a business from your laptop. But where should that money actually go if your goal is long-term security, growth, and freedom, not just chasing the latest trend? So, in this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly what I would do with $10,000 in 2025 step by step. We're going to look at three paths: beginner, balanced, and advanced. So no matter where you are, you'll leave with a clear action plan. Before you invest a single dollar, you have to figure out where you actually stand. I like to start with what I call the three-path checkup. Path A, foundation. You don't yet have a full emergency fund, or you're still carrying high-interest debt, things like credit cards or buy now, pay later balances. Path B, balanced. You've already got 3 to 6 months of savings, your debts are mostly under control, and now you want to grow faster while staying safe. Path C is advanced. You're already investing regularly and want to fine-tune your money for taxes, diversification, and new opportunities. Think of it like building a house. Path A is your foundation, Path B is your first floor, and Path C is when you start designing the dream layout. Okay, firstly, let's start with Path A, the foundation. This is for you if you're still working on getting stable, paying off debt, or you haven't built an emergency cushion yet. The goal here isn't investing right away, it's removing financial stress so that later investments actually stick. The first step is your emergency fund. You should be using about 30 to 50% of the money for this. You want 3 to 6 months of essential expenses set aside somewhere safe and easy to access. A high-yield savings account is perfect for this, something that pays around 4.5% to 5% in 2025. Think of this fund as your personal insurance policy. It's not about returns, it's about sleeping well at night. If your core expenses are around $1,500 a month, then $4,500 would be your magic number. Step number 2 is paying down high interest debt, and again you're probably going to be using about 30 to 50% of the money for that. Attack any debt above 10 to 12% interest like your life depends on it, because financially it kind of does. A credit card charging 20% interest is like earning a guaranteed 20% return just by paying it off. You should start with the avalanche method, pay off the highest interest balances first, and then roll those payments down to the next one. Step number 3 is now short-term yield. This would be using about 10 to 20% of the money. If you still have some left, don't let it sit idle. You can use short-term T-bills, that's short-term government bonds, to earn around 4 to 5% safely. It's not sexy, but it keeps your money growing while staying flexible. The end result of Path A is simple. You've built your safety net, reduced stress, and freed up your future income. You're not chasing returns yet, you're setting the stage so that when you do, you are ready to stay invested. Now, let's move to Path B, the balanced approach. You've got your emergency fund, no high interest debt, and now you're ready to make this $10,000 actually work for you. This is where we start splitting the money into multiple purposes, some for growth, some for safety, and some for you. The core of your plan should be low-cost index ETFs. This should be using about 60% of the money. Things like the S&P 500 ETF SPY, Vanguard Total World VT, or Schwab Global SCHF. These are diversified, time-tested, and cheap. Historically, global index funds have returned around 7 to 9% per year on average, and while nothing is guaranteed, it's the most reliable growth engine we have. Set it to reinvest dividends automatically, that's called the DRIP method, and forget about it. Next, I'd put about 15% in short-term T-bills, that's short-term government bonds, or money market funds. This gives you both stability and the option to buy more when the markets dip. If you want a little fun or conviction, take 10% and invest it into a specific theme you believe in, things like AI, green energy, or dividend growth. Just remember, this is your spice, not your main dish. Next is the one most people skip, but arguably it's the highest return of investment of all. Use about 10% of the money upgrading a skill that increases your earning power, things like a certification, an online course, or a small tool that helps you automate your work. A single skill that adds $200 a month to your income outperforms any ETF. Finally, leave a small slice for something that makes life easier or happier. This would be about 5% of the money. It could be travel, a new bike, or a purchase that saves you time every week. The goal is to stay motivated, because good money habits stick when life feels good. In short, Path B is a perfect middle ground. You're earning, growing, learning, and enjoying the process, not chasing perfection, but building consistency. Finally, Path C, the advanced plan. This is for people who already have strong financial systems in place and want to optimize. You're not asking, where do I put this money anymore? You're asking, how do I make it work harder with less tax and more freedom? Step number 1 is to make the most use of tax-advantaged accounts. You should be taking between 40 to 60% of the money here. You should max out any IRA, 401k, ISA, retirement wrapper that you're eligible for. This is the most underrated wealth move most people ignore, because compounding tax-free or tax-deferred makes a bigger difference than chasing an extra 1% of return. Make sure to check out your company's retirement policy and see what you can do in maximizing your payments there, because some companies or schemes will match or partially match money that you're paying in. Step number 2 are diversifiers. Here you should be using between 15 to 25% of the money. Add some short duration bonds or bond ETFs for stability. Maybe a small REIT, that's a real estate investment trust, or dividend ETF for cash flow. This keeps your portfolio balanced if equities wobble. Step number 3 is the opportunity pool. This is maybe 10 to 20% of the money. Keep this cash flexible. Keep it sitting in a high yield account or in treasury bills, ready for that next market dip or side project idea. Think of it as a strategic patience money pool. Finally, you should look at building a skill or something to do with a business. This should take maybe 10 to 15% of the money. Use this small piece to upgrade your tools, start outsourcing a task, or launch a digital product tied to your expertise. This isn't about instant profits, it's about freeing up time and building leverage. The advanced plan is all about efficiency, lower taxes, smoother returns, and more ownership over your income sources. You're building systems that eventually make you optional. Now I would like to share with you some common pitfalls. There are a few traps that derail people no matter what path they're on. For example, skipping the emergency fund and being forced to sell investments when life happens. Paying the minimums on 20% credit cards, that's just reverse compounding. Jumping on every new trend without mastering the basics. And finally, ignoring taxes and fees, because a 1% drag every year is a silent wealth killer. Get those right and the rest falls into place naturally. Let's make that concrete for everybody. Example number 1 is a beginner with $10,000, $2,000 credit card debt, and no savings. They should be taking $4,000 and putting it in the emergency fund. They should be taking $4,000 for debt payoff, $1,000 on T-bills, and $1,000 on a total market ETF. Next, example 2, a balanced investor. They should be taking $6,000 and putting those into ETFs, $1,500 and putting them into T-bills, $1,000 into dividend paying or a dividend paying ETF. They should take $1,000 and put it into a skill, and then they should take $500 and earn some life return on investment from that. Have some fun. Example number 3 was the advanced investor. $5,000 should be then used in a tax-advantaged index, $2,000 in short-term bonds, $2,000 is your opportunity pool, and $1,000 should be going on a skill or business investment. Here's a quick recap. Path A, build your foundation, emergency fund, kill debt, and add safe yield. Path B, core growth fund, 15% on yield, 10% on theme, 10% on skill, and 5% goes on enjoyment. Path number C, optimize for taxes, add balance, and fund your next opportunity. The key isn't timing the market, it's getting started today and sticking with the plan long enough to see it work. So, if you had $10,000 right now, which path would you follow? Drop a comment below. I actually read and reply to most of them. And if you found this breakdown helpful, hit that subscribe button for more step-by-step finance videos every week. I'm building FinMap to help you make smarter money moves in 2025, one realistic step at a time.